Crested Butte, Colorado is a veritable paradise of stunning scenery, chic shopping, and ski resorts. But it comes at a price. A small vacant lot here can sell for more than $500,000. And yet the mountaintop that towers above this town was recently sold by the U.S. government to a private company for the staggering sum of $875. That's right, $875. The bargain basement sale was allowed under an 1872 law that gives hard rock mining companies the right to buy federal land at 1872 prices, which amounts to $5 or less an acre. That means the mining companies can take valuable resources such as gold, silver, uranium, and copper from public lands for almost nothing, while oil and coal companies must pay the United States royalties for the resources they extract from federal lands. The 1872 law, designed to promote development when the West was young, further gives mining priority over using Western land for other interests, such as recreation and conservation.
The 1872 Mining Act basically reads like a Ripley's Believe It or Not. Because mining is operating under a framework that was developed in the 19th century, there are very few environmental safeguards incorporated into the law.
Mining of metals like silver and gold once dominated this region, and some old mines now serve to remind tourists of how the West was won. But conservationists argue that the old law, designed to regulate picks and shovels, is no match for the cavernous pits and toxic chemicals used in modern mining. Companies have staked new claims within miles of the Grand Canyon. One study shows an 80% increase in new claims across the West, thousands near national treasures. And then there's the pollution. Environmentalists worry the proposed Crested Butte molybdenum mine on the mountain known as the Red Lady will endanger the town below.
The fundamental fact is that the government feels that because of the 1872 mining law, they can't say, now wait a minute, we don't want that waste pile right next to the stream, or we don't think there should be a mine right above the town because of the dust that would blow in, or the water pollution, or the destruction of the quality of life of the town. Under the 1872 mining law, the federal government and the mining industry argue, tough luck, we're putting our mine there.
Molybdenum is a metal used to strengthen steel. A similar mine in Cuesta, New Mexico, is believed to have left tailings of hazardous chemicals in the Red Rock River, likely affecting the many aquatic species and migratory birds that depend on its waters. Retired miner Roberto Vigil has seen the evidence.
A lot of what we see in the river, we have been told that it's aluminum sulfate of some sort. I think it's been identified that there's a lot of other heavy metals in the river that are highly toxic.
The mining industry counters that the Cuesta mine is being cleaned up and contends that all mining operations must adhere to laws aimed to control pollution. In addition, the industry points out that almost 1 million acres of former mines have been successfully restored. Most in the industry also agree that mining companies should pay for minerals taken from federal land, but argues U.S. mines need to retain enough profit to stay internationally competitive.
We have supported changes to the mining law for over a decade. We have to keep in mind that metals are sold on an open market regardless of where they're mined, so we want to keep the United States cost competitive so that we supply the materials that we need here in this country. Costs here in the United States are high because of salaries and other regulatory obligations that we have.
Conservationists worry, though, the Western landscape is littered with old mines of companies that have gone out of business, leaving the government to clean up toxic messes, some designated as Superfund sites. They point to coal, gas, and timber industries, which pay the government hefty royalties. Advocates want metal mines to pay up also to help offset the cost of the massive cleanup. For decades, mining companies and Western lawmakers have stymied attempts to change the 1872 law. But conservationists, like those at Pew Trust, believe change is in the air.
One of the reasons why it has been so difficult to change is because the mining industry has been such a powerful force in the West. But things have changed, and in the past couple of decades, the rapid population growth in the West, the increased focus on recreation and conservation really mean, I think, that the tide has turned in this battle, and we feel optimistic that there will be some changes in the near future to an act that has long been outdated in its prime.
After a century and a half of development, America may believe that it's worth keeping some of the wild in the Wild West after all.
Sponsored by National Geographic Mission Programs, taking science and exploration into the new millennium.